So the following information can be found on my Screen Rant, Clickbait's Debunked headline when it's unconfirmed on Toby and Andrew for Spider-Man 3 video. I'll also replay it at the end of this video as to what I stated, but I'm creating this video so that the headline will remind everyone as to what my old sources have given me 100% accurate information on the past Spider-Man films have told me and what my new sources have told me. I really need to do this because my spider senses are detecting that people will try and twist my words around, and this will be proof as to what my old sources, who once again have given me 100% accurate information on the past Spider-Man film stated, and what my other sources, and yes, they're the same ones who gave me the Dylan O'Brien cast of Spider-Man information. But let's not forget, I wasn't the only one claiming this one, because it was myself, Reddit Leaker, and Daniel RPK. You all know who that is. The problem is that no matter how many times you get things accurate, all it takes is just one thing that you get wrong, which happens all the time for people to label you as a clickbaiter or fraud, despite all the times. I'm not just talking about one scoop, I'm talking about a shitload of scoops accurate for more than a decade now, and making excuses that it was just very good predictions. But let me tell you something, right? Those weren't predictions, they were spoilers. I even challenged one of the haters from Supervillain Hype to do the same thing for Marvel Studios' version of Spider-Man, and he backed down from the challenge to make predictions and see how accurate they become with it. Because we all know there's no way in hell he could do that, especially with like different directions they could go in. And look, I'm not going to completely shit on my sources who gave me false information about Dylan O'Brien, because remember that my old sources dropped me the moment I made that video a long time ago when someone made an article about it and it went viral. They got me into trouble because I was very detailed about the Amazing Spider-Man script. These new sources warned me about Spider-Man finally coming to the MCU before it was announced. And I remember the reactions of everyone on my Daily Beagle Spidey Facebook page. They were literally losing their collective shit. Now look, I get it. Anyone can say, well, this is going to happen. But with my scoops, particularly, I say it's going to happen, and a few days later to a week, it happens, and that is the difference. Okay? They also told me that Spider-Man will indeed first appear in Captain America Civil War, and I was so confident it was going to happen because they're on a serious roll, you know, and like I said, I stated it's official, okay, and that it's happening, and everyone, and I mean everyone, even some webheads made a video about it and said, you know, just be careful in claiming that, you know, things are official when it's not. And guess what happened? Exactly, it became official. Now, this is as to what my sources told me, and this information was given to me pre-COVID, and hence why I made a statement about it months prior to reveal that I have an exclusive update on the live-action Spider-Verse film, and days later it was revealed that Jamie Foxx is returning as Electro for Spider-Man 3. And this happens all the time. Number one, this is what my sources told me, the ones that have given me 100% accurate information on the past Spider-Man films. And this was months ago, pre-COVID, keep that in mind, that there are plans for a live-action Spider-Verse film featuring Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. Number two, that there will be another Spider-Verse character that will get the same push that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is getting, but not from the MCU, and not from the same universe. It's from a universe where this particular character makes a sacrifice and inspires them to want to suit up. That this character won't fully appear as a full-fledged Spider-Verse character until several years after the Spider-Verse incident, and will show up as an end credit scene. Could this change? Of course it can. I mean, these plans were made pre-COVID. Things happen all the time. They change. Could this person appear in the third Spider-Man film? Of course, but highly doubtful, because as of right now, the main focus is on Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man from the MCU. Can this person also be from the MCU? Of course, but that would also conflict with Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man, which is why they want to keep those two Spider-Verse characters in a separate universe. Number three, that Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal have chosen a director for a Sony Pictures live-action Spider-Verse film, with an option for a co-director in the style of the Russo brothers if it becomes too much for that director to handle, which means that he is not officially on board yet. That this director also helped Toby come on board because he was a little bit of an issue at first, and Grace Randolph, who was also even called out by director James Gunn on our bullshit scoops on several occasions claimed that at first it was because of a lucrative deal. And now it's more about screen time, which all actors, of course, want more screen time. It's not just a cameo. Tobey and Andrew aren't signed on for just a cameo. It was much more than that, especially for a live-action Spider-Verse film. I mean, come on, give me a break. So consider that report to be the blonde moment of the year tweet that had me dying of laughter. And I got blocked for calling her out on it. She didn't block me because of my video, because she did that prior. I wasn't disrespectful. I didn't call her any names, which I already seen people say some really fucked up shit about her in the comment section, yet they weren't blocked. But then I started to notice that they were getting blocked, or their deletes were, deleted. I don't have an issue with her, but I do watch her videos, and I'm 100% convinced that she's a female version of El Maimbe, where her sauces are just a knockoff version of the brand names. I was just so pissed off when she blocked me that I went on my friend's Twitter, who also helps me run the Marvel Studios Spider-Man page, because it is a separate page that I own, but I can't run everything because it's very time consuming. And I went on there to tell her off, because it really pissed me off that she's bullshitting. Especially after I was sent screenshots of her deleting everyone's comments about how her source was wrong the first time and changed their tune the second, which is not exactly an update, because all actors want more screen time in any role they get. I mean, no fucking shit. It's like trying to tell us that the sky is blue and the water's wet. If you're wrong about something, you own that shit. You don't come back with the, see, I told you so, finally. So, like as if you're in the know when she clearly isn't, and just goes by what other sources within the industry has reported, and tries to be sneaky about it and gets caught in a web of lies. James Gunn called her out. Number 4, that at one point it was considered as an option to have Spider-Man 3 become a Spider-Verse film in the same way that they did for Captain America Civil War, where instead of focusing on the character's solo story, it turned into an Avengers-style type of film where everyone was in it. Yet it would make more sense to let Spider-Man 3 be its own story, which seems logical at this point, but also lead up to another film in the same sense that Captain Marvel was, for the Avengers Endgame. Meaning, and let me repeat this because I've already had one asshat try to argue with me about this and waste my time, that the Spider-Verse event is separate from Spider-Man 3, which is already being directed by John Watts, no fucking shit, and has begun filming. That we might not even see Tobey and Andrew until the final act of the film that sets up Sony Pictures' Spider-Verse film, where Sony Pictures can fully profit from. I don't understand how difficult that is, especially with the headline and the video. I mean, I'm not going to get into it. Now, being that this was planned pre-COVID, things could have changed, and it doesn't mean the information is wrong. I mean, look, I could sit here and tell you how I tried warning everybody that, Venom had a purple tint on his costume, which explains why the toy was purple, and everyone kept telling me, you're wrong, man, your source is bullshit. Guess what? Several years later, we find out is the truth. There was a purple fucking suit of the Venom costume. And I made a video on it on my fan support page. Can you imagine so many years people telling me I was wrong on that shit? And it was bullshit, and all of a sudden you find out that it's true. It's old news, so they don't give a fuck. And it hurts. Because I'm sitting here, the reason I got into this situation is because I was tired of the clickbaiters. I'm not a fucking clickbaiter. I fucking despise clickbaiters. I'm trying to give you guys information that is true. Sometimes things change. And that's the end of it. Even the things that were falsely reported. Look, at one point, Elena Satine did audition. Okay? It just wasn't for the role of Mary Jane. It was for Gwen Stacy. So it wasn't 100% bullshit. Also, the main fact of the whole Dylan O'Brien situation is that at one point, even my sources told me, yes, at one point, Logan Lerman and Dylan O'Brien, were the ones that they were looking for to be cast as Spider-Man, but that was old news. They decided to go younger. So it wasn't all 100% bullshit. They just went in a different direction. Things change. And like I said, there also could be a possibility the director they have in mind could change their mind, saying it's too much for them. And, another director or co-directors must be found for this movie. Because look, this is an Avengers level type of film. There's going to be a shitload of characters and villains. And I'm not just talking about the Sinister Six here. Nobody knows about what the other villains are, and I'm going to reveal that soon. And it's a lot of responsibility and pressure, especially with it being the first time that you'll see all these 3 past Spider-Man actors, well, not 3, but the 2 past Spider-Man actors together with the other actor in one big film. So don't bitch to me if the director I revealed on my fan support isn't chosen to direct a film, because I've already said it a million times. They want him for it, but it might be too much for him. They might go to somebody else. It happens. You know how many times directors have changed over the course of how many movies? Simply because shit happens. Doesn't mean it's false. And everything else that I mentioned in my fan support videos is from other sources, especially the use of different villains and the combination of Raimi, Webb's, and Watts villains in the form of Sinister Six, in which Electro is already confirmed for. Not by Sony and Marvel. Jamie Foxx spilled the eels. Hell, even Doctor Strange is not even confirmed. They're both unconfirmed, as far as we know. Which, once again, let me repeat, is not the information given to me from my sources that are giving me 100% accurate information from the past Spider-Man films. So get this through your thick skulls, because it's a waste of my time to address the obvious. And yet I'm dealing with 2 different pandemics here, which is COVID-19 and stupidity. The mentality level of these adults really saddens me. So there you have it, and everything I talked about, you know, have been revealed on my only fan support video. And this Thursday, I'm going to reveal to everyone who that Spider-Verse character is that will get the same exact push as Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man will be getting, and also lead the charge for the future Sony Picture Spider-Man films, while Marvel Studios can focus on Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man. And it's also going to leave the door open for the other character, one of the Spider-Verse characters, to come back if they wanted to. That will survive the Spider-Verse event, while the other will make an ultimate sacrifice that will not only make an impact with Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man, but the other Spider-Verse character that will be the future of the Sony Picture Spider-Man films. And I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to reveal on my fan support page. So until next time on the Same Spider Time, Same Spider Channel, and Same Spider Place, Spidey Woman out. If you paid attention to my fan support videos, I give reasons as to why Toby is becoming a problem. So let me clarify as to what my source from Sony told me that has given me 100% accurate information on the past Spider-Man films. And this information was given to me months ago, pre-COVID. So you know how things changed since COVID. So, I mean, like I said, anything could have changed. They told me that a live-action Spider-Verse film is in the works of Tobey, Andrew, and Tom. That originally, and they were supposed to shoot a while ago, they were going to make Spider-Man 3 the Captain America Civil War type film, doing a Spider-Verse film. Yet being that it's a Marvel Studios film, it would make more sense for them to finish their own story and then set it up towards the end for a live-action Spider-Verse film for Sony Pictures. That way Sony can profit from it. It's like the whole Captain Marvel leading up to the Avengers Infinity War strategy that worked, because that film passed the $1 billion mark despite the fact that it was one of the most shittiest Marvel films I've ever seen, played by a racist feminazi wooden actress. I'm not going to get into that because, yeah, it's just going to cause problems. Anyway, also that a Spider-Verse character will die and inspire another character from his universe that will be revealed at an end credit scene of the Spider-Verse film. And that, yes, let me repeat, this character will not be from the MCU. That way it won't conflict with Tom Holland's version from the MCU, and we'll get the exact same push as Tom Holland is getting for the MCU version of Spider-Man. That this new version of the Spider-Verse character will emerge years after the events of the Spider-Verse film and will not be included in the live-action Spider-Verse film. Like I said, things can change. This happened a long time ago. Everything changes in Hollywood. But I've trusted them for a very long time, and they also told me that both Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal have chosen a director in mind to direct the live-action film, and if it becomes too much for the director, they can include a co-director in the same style as the Russo brothers. That this director is also the main reason on getting Tobey on board, because he was an issue at first. Now, if you've been on my fan support channel, and you've seen my videos, I revealed all this information to them, so you're missing out. The rest of the information that I revealed on my fan support pages does not come from my sources from Sony, who have given me 100% accurate info on the past films, and I made that really clear to them. I'm just so confident that the Spider-Verse film will happen, featuring Tobey and Andrew and Tom, and if it turns out false, then I'll 100% retire. I'll give it up, and the haters can have their fun. That's how confident I am that this will happen.
Face it, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot.
Woo!